So on the last show, we talked about how Marianne Williamson is a name being floated now to primary Biden in 2024. And I'm for it. Go watch that video. I lay out all of my reasons as to why I think it makes sense. Well, she's clearly thinking about it at least a little bit, because she just went on Fox News here. Jesse Waters has a new Fox News show. They should call it the Smug Frat Boy Prick Hour, but I don't think they're going to do that. She's going to drop some truth bombs right on top of Jesse's head. So let's watch this, and then we'll come back and dissect her messaging and determine whether or not it's sufficient if you're going to take a crack at being president.
So, Marianne, are you considering primarying President Joe Biden?
No, like many, many people, I'm thinking very deeply about what's going on in this country. And I realize that the horse race is not the conversation that most matters. To listen to Fox, to listen to CNN, to listen to MSNBC, it's all about left versus right, isn't it? But I don't think that that's the real political divide that most matters in this country. I think that's kind of a cartoonish version of the political divide in this country that makes billions of dollars for political forces and media forces. The real political divide in this country, Jesse, is between the powerful and the powerless. And the powerful few are headquartered in both major political parties. It is the corporate-backed forces, whether it's big pharmaceutical companies, big oil companies, military defense contractors, etc., that are obstructing the financial well-being and the greater economic and professional and just personal opportunities of the American people. That's what concerns me.
I would agree with that there's definitely a big guy versus little guy scenario, and that's always been the case, and that's something this country has to address. In your opinion, as a progressive Democrat, if you still label yourself like that, where do you think President Joe Biden's biggest failures have been so far in year one?
Not pushing back. The biggest failures of Joe Biden, to me, are the same as the biggest failures of Donald Trump and Barack Obama and every president in modern history, which is a refusal to take on in any fundamental way the dominance of these corporate forces. I mean, if you look at the actual economic opportunities of the average American, have they really been that different no matter who?
That's a winning message. Now, understand something. I told you guys it's never worked that you primary an incumbent from your own party. That doesn't work. However, the number of upsides here are innumerable. So one of the things you do is take the left. We had the movement with Bernie Sanders. That got everybody energized, more people involved in politics, a more united left front than we've ever seen. And now they're disparate factions, and they're warring with each other, and they're slitting each other's throats. Why not bring some wind back to the sails and unite the left again? And give us a running head start for the future and create 1,000 new Bernie Sanders, 1,000 new Marianne Williamsons. And I genuinely believe we could break the record. I don't know what the record is for trying to primary an incumbent president, but I think we could break whatever the record is. I think we could get 15, 20, 25%. And the other thing is, you never know what's going to happen with Joe Biden because he's really old and he's half a zombie at this point. And so maybe he doesn't run again. Maybe he can't run again. And then maybe the field's wide open. And then maybe Marianne Williamson gets a head start on everybody else because she can announce, a primary quicker. And then when eventually Mayor Pete and Amy Klobuchar and Kamala Harris jump in or whatever, she's already got a running head start and she's already got a sharpened message. And I said it the other day. I'll say it again. You want to craft a message that not only unifies the left-wing base, which she's doing, but you also want to pick off disaffected independents and even people who might lean right. And you can build a gigantic coalition. Because here's the thing. A lot of the Fox News viewers, yes, a lot of them are Kool-Aid drinking partisan hacks who are Republicans. But one of the things I've noticed about the right-wing base is that it's almost like the substance of your criticism doesn't matter to them. So if you're attacking Biden from the right, they like you. If you're attacking Biden from the left, they like you. Well, that's weird. They just don't like Biden. And generally speaking, they don't like the Democrats. But you can almost co-opt that mindset against them. And really what I mean by that is you can co-opt that mindset into getting them to believe in good policies. And that's sort of what she's doing here. When you talk about, hey, it's not left versus right, it's powerful versus powerless, or as I say, it's elites versus populists, It's big guy versus little guy. What you're doing there is, giving people some sparks. You're giving people just a hint of something new and interesting while also feeding their hatred of the Democratic Party. And you'd be surprised, man. That's like the beginning of a move towards deconversion. Now, I'm not naive. I'm not some idealist who thinks you can convert 100% of people. No, but can you convert some? Yeah. Can you convert more than maybe anybody else is doing? Yeah. So that message wins. It's not left versus right. It's powerful versus powerless. It's big guy versus little guy. And why is Joe Biden so terrible? Well, Joe Biden's terrible because he's not serving the American people. He's not getting rid of student loan debt, which is holding back an entire generation. He didn't raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. He's not taking on big pharma. He's not taking on the lobbyists and the billionaires. And these are the people who are responsible for the American people being screwed on a daily basis. Now, they'll hear that and like it. They'll hear that and like it. You're sort of roping them in to having better politics. And it's a long process, and it's a slow process, and it's an arduous process, but you can do it. And it also is a message that everybody on the left agrees with. Everybody on the actual left, the left base, agrees with. So you're holding the left base and planting seeds in the minds of people who aren't already 100% with you. That's how you do politics, man. You always want to frame arguments in a way where you have a chance of convincing or eventually convincing people who don't currently agree with you. That's the art of persuasion. That's the art of good politics and being a good politician. So I said it before, I'll say it again. With Marianne Williamson, with anybody who would run against Biden in 2024, or anybody who would run in 2028, you got to put some very basic ideas front and center that can get everybody interested. One thing is, and among the population, people will be interested in this. The elites in Washington, D.C., they don't want this at all because they're all bought and they're hacks. But one of the ideas I love is, why are we talking about just a corporate giveaway infrastructure deal that's a compromise to the compromise of the compromise? We should be talking about making our infrastructure number one in the world. I want to be better than everybody else in infrastructure. I want to have beautiful roads, beautiful airports, beautiful bridges. I want to have high-speed rail. I want to make it so that we are the envy of the world with our infrastructure. I want America to be number one. Now, that's national pride, and that's real patriotism, and that's a message you could sell to everybody, including people on the right and including independents. Make that argument. Sell that idea. I love the idea of a direct democracy law. Hey, I'm running for president, but it's not about me. It's about you. I want to be a medium for your will and for your voice and for what you want. So you can't say, hey, I don't like what you're doing, because then you're saying, I don't like what I'm doing. So if we get a direct democracy law, every time you vote for president, you vote on the top 5 political issues of the time, on important issues, well, guess what? We'd already have $15 minimum wage. We'd already have legal marijuana. We'd already have paid time off by law. Because you give people a direct vote on that, we know what way they're going to go, and that's a good thing. It's a shortcut around the corruption in Washington, D.C. to give people a direct voice, and that's exactly what we need to do. That's another thing that Marianne Williamson could run on. Another thing is just resurrect FDR's old economic Bill of Rights, his second Bill of Rights, where people have a right to a job and an adequate wage and a decent living, a home, medical care, economic protection during sickness, accident, old age, or unemployment, and a good education. Bring that back. Bring that back. Talk about that. Run on that. Say, listen, the last guy who proposed this is one of the most popular presidents in American history, if not the most popular president in American history. He won 4 times. His party held 80% of the House and the Senate. Why? Because he was serving the American people. That's my job. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve you. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Let's re-spark that movement. Let's unite the left. And let's put a message out there that's palatable to as many people as humanly possible. You don't pander to those who disagree by giving in on their policy stuff, because then you're just a flip-flopper and you just contradict yourself, and maybe you don't even believe in anything. You rope people in by staying true to your policy ideas, standing on principle, but making clever, intelligent arguments that make them think maybe they're onto something. And so, by the way, don't even get it. I don't want to hear she went on Fox News. She shouldn't have gone on Fox News. Marianne Williamson, if she runs for president, should accept every single invitation to speak absolutely everywhere. She should be on MSNBC. She should be on Fox News. She should be on CNN. She should be on new media. She should be on right-leaning new media. She should be on left new media. She should go everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. And this way, when they try to attack her with the bullshit, oh, look at who you're talking to, she can say, listen, I say yes to everybody. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm running for president. I have a message for everybody. It's not even about the person I'm talking to. It's about the people in the audience. And I'm trying to expand the tent based on good ideas. Okay? So that's what I'm in the business of. You might not like it. It is what it is. The media, in many respects, will smear her and come after her. But if she stays laser focused on things that matter, she can build that gigantic following. She can keep a movement going. She can unite disparate factions of the left who are currently at each other's throats. I love the idea. And I love that message. I hope she continues. And let's do it, man. Let's remind people that a better world and better politics and better policy is possible. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.